I remember lying in bed one night, facing away from my husband, silently crying myself to sleep because I realized that I didn't know how to love him. I didn't know how to let him love me. And the scariest part was I thought I was doing everything right. I was strong, independent, educated, successful. On the outside, our life was perfect. But on the inside, I was absolutely emotionally bankrupt. Feminism told me I didn't need a man. But what it never told me or taught me was what would happen when I married one. Before I go any further, I want to say clearly, I don't believe feminism is wrong. I'm not here to attack a movement that has fought for justice and equality. I'm simply sharing my experience, my story, in hopes that it reaches the hearts of women like me. Women who crave that deep, unbreakable, devoted kind of marriage, but secretly feel lost in how to actually have it. If that's you, I hope that this brings you hope and healing. From a very young age, I was taught to be strong, self-sufficient, to never rely on a man. And on the surface, that sounded empowering. I wanted to be independent. I wanted to be strong. But deep down, I internalized something that was so incredibly dangerous, that I needed to be able to do everything on my own, and that needing a man was weak, that wanting connection or interdependence made me less. So when I finally entered marriage, the thing that I had wanted the most, that I had worked so hard to finally find that person, that man that I loved and wanted to spend the rest of my life with. What I didn't realize is I wasn't entering as a partner. I entered like a solo act, just with someone else backstage. I wasn't just taught to be independent. I was taught to be suspicious. Every story, every warning, every subtle comment taught me that men couldn't be trusted, that they'd let you down, hurt you, or hold you back, that when given the chance, they'd choose themselves. So when my husband made comments on my work or tried to lead me, I always questioned his motives. When he tried to help, I wondered what he really wanted. I loved him, but I did not trust him. And love without trust, that isn't love at all. It was honestly all about my goals, my dreams, my healing, my growth. Marriage became something that I measured by how happy it made me, how validated I felt. And I never, ever really stopped or asked how he was doing, what he needed, because I was so wrapped up in proving that I was enough on my own. The thing about selfishness is it's so hard to realize that you are the one being selfish, because your thoughts are so trained to be focused on you that it becomes your normal, it becomes your reality. So when you feel like you're being pulled away from that, you'll do anything you can to convince yourself that it's not you that's wrong, it's the other person. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was competing with him constantly. If he made a decision, I had to find the flaw. If he succeeded, I had to work harder or to top it. I was afraid of disappearing in his shadow. Instead of learning to rest in his strength, in his leadership, I forgot that partnership isn't a race, it's a dance, and I refused to be led. Honestly, I just didn't know how to let go, to lean back, to receive his love, his care, his provision. I didn't know how to be in my feminine. I was always braced, tense, on edge. It's no wonder to me now why I struggled so much with anxiety and why my nervous system has consistently been in burnout. I didn't trust that I could ever stop. I didn't trust that my husband would catch me if I fell. And over time, that constant state of self-protection wore me down. I had no energy to give, no softness left. And on the outside, you would have never known. We looked like the ideal couple, and I did so well at making that so. But on the inside, I was empty, distant, but still, I was trying to be everything. I unconsciously took advantage of my husband. He was patient. He was. I couldn't see it then, but looking back now, I don't know how we made it as long as we did. And he was consistent. He showed up every day and did what he had to do. And I took it for granted, all that he did and what he was doing for me. Not intentionally, but I expected his stability, while I only saw how I was lacking and offered chaos. I expected his understanding without giving transparency with my emotions, my visions for our lives, my finances. And when he needed support, I convinced myself that I was already giving enough and was too emotionally unavailable to offer anymore. I called it equality, but it was imbalance. And here's the most painful truth. My husband didn't really know me. Not because he didn't try, but because I had walls so high, even I couldn't see over them. Even I couldn't see just how broken I really was. I had built a fortress out of fear, and I called it empowerment. But inside that fortress, I was lonely, I was scared, and I was so desperate. But I didn't know how to say, I need you. I didn't know how to fix the brokenness inside my marriage. But what took a lot of pain for me to realize is I needed to start with healing the brokenness inside of me before I could ever fix my marriage. Feminism gave me a voice, but somewhere along the way, I used that voice to push away the very person that I loved the most. My husband didn't want to compete with me. He just wanted to build with me, to love me, to feel connected to me, and I almost missed it. This isn't a story about blame. It's a story about awakening. I had to unlearn the lies that I believed so I could finally become a wife he could feel and not just see. I know that this isn't everyone's story, but it was mine. And letting go of my feminist ideals and ways of thinking and focusing on building unity, gratitude, respect, and partnership with my husband has not only prevented us from becoming another statistic, but it has allowed me the gift of experiencing a marriage that truly just keeps getting better and better with each passing year. I can truly say now that I love my husband so much more than the day that I married him, and I wouldn't have had that chance if I wasn't willing to let feminism go. It is my hope and prayer that this video reaches whoever needs it. And if it encouraged you, convicted you, or inspired you in any way, I hope that you will give it a like and share it with a friend. Let's encourage each other in building a life and a marriage and a family that we truly dream of. And until next time.